Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy technology principles applications. This video is just a Q&A for like the Ascension questions and pole shift questions. Those topics, I guess, are really related in this model for some reason. This is highly unconventional information, and this is going to get really woo-woo, so just be aware of that if you don't like that kind of stuff. Some of the questions are kind of funny. I had to leave them in there because I like them, and some of them are more serious. The qualifier or the disclaimer for all of this is, I've talked about this before, we've got this information from these higher beings they're kind of like angelic beings, beings of white light, high vibration. They're like guardians of this realm. So I mean they have essentially proven the accuracy of their statements to us hundreds of times, but I'm still very reticent to like buy into anything fully when it comes to the future, because timing could change, event lines could change, and all kinds of things. So the answers I'm going to give to these questions are just my best interpretation of the information that we've been given and we continue to get on these topics. And so I just want to say that I'm just doing my best to interpret what we think we've heard and what we've been given, and hopefully, I don't know if I want to hope that it's right or not, honestly. I'm just trying to relay the information as we were given it. So, is Ascension going to happen before a pole shift? So here's what we've been given. So this, like, kind of this Ascension process, we're already underway, you could say, to some degree. So the pole shift's already underway, Ascension process is already underway, but there's an accelerated Ascension process that will happen like around 2026, the beginning of it or whatever, and then start going for 3 years or so. That will supposedly ramp up humanity in this Ascension, kind of a more of an accelerated Ascension process. That will happen before the pole shift like fully engages. And so as far as we know, there's some degree of technologically enhanced Ascension before the pole shift, before it gets really serious. I mean, it's already underway, but so why does the pole shift need to happen? As far as we know, I mean, it's a cyclical thing, and that's conventional science, so it's going to happen anyway at some point. But I think the timing of it being orchestrated right now has to do with a lot of things, like with the magnetic field of the Earth and what's happening with in this etheric magnetic model, the draw downstream from the planet, and the things that need to change in order to really correct what's the serious pollution that's happened to our system and everything, thanks to what humanity's done in the last 100 years. So there's a lot of different reasons, plus it allows for a new flow of energy to come in that will be part of this high cycle, and that will last for thousands of years. So the pole shift is really integral to a lot of the coming changes. Is a magnetic pole shift, is it going to be a magnetic pole shift or a physical pole shift? As far as we know at this point, it's just going to be a magnetic pole shift. I don't know if a physical pole shift is really in the works at this point, at least probably not for a very long time. Is Ascension still going to start during the second lunar cycle of 2026? Well, I think it's already underway, but the more technologically enhanced accelerated Ascension, as we were told, is going to begin, like the actual devices and everything will be fully engaged starting the second lunar cycle of 2026. So yeah, as far as we know, that's still the timeline. Is Ascension going to be technologically enhanced? Yes, it is, as far as we know, at first, and it will stay technologically enhanced as long as it's necessary. But see, the pole shift will allow for the natural evolution of humanity through an Ascension process that will take a long time to happen, but getting humanity up to a certain level where it's safe to introduce new technology and different things is really kind of the high priority. And so that's where the technologically enhanced Ascension comes in, and that will last for as long as it needs to. It's kind of like keeping us on training wheels as long as we need it until we go through a natural evolutionary process of Ascension, and that could take whatever, a couple thousand years. But the technologically enhanced Ascension will remain in place through that. How are they going to help us ascend? They're essentially going to like magnetically modulate all of the incoming energy into this solar system and add certain like resonant polarities and structural polarities to it that will basically transform everything within our solar system and put us at, like, you want to say, a much higher vibration or higher resonance level or an ascension level, however you want to say it, but they're essentially going to they're basically altering the incoming energy of the solar system, and that will change everything within its path. How long will the ascension process be? The technological enhance is probably going to be at least 3 years for a full ramp up. It may go on after that, and maybe there's more stages and stuff. The natural process of ascension could go on for forever. I mean, it could be a very long time. So it's, there's never going to be an end really to our ascension, but getting us up to enough level to where there's no more, so we can introduce new technology is going to be awesome. Is the ascension process going to be painful? It will only be painful to the degree that someone is really, really holding on to their past pain or their past fear or their anger or their greed or whatever. So to that degree, that will be the painful part of it. But even that should be very temporary, and it will be a natural process for people to let go of that stuff, for us all to do that. What are you selling? Nothing. As far as I know at this point, we're not selling anything, and I'm not selling anything through any of the sites or anything. Are we prisoners on this planet? Absolutely not. If you get into astral projection or consciousness projection or whatever you want to do, you could leave this planet at any time in your energy body. There's no net around the planet that's containing us. When we die, if you want to say, our souls, they go way far away from this place into other dimensions, other realms and everything, and there's nothing being contained. There are beings constantly going every second of every day. There are tremendous number, millions of beings coming and going from our planet, and people dying and being born every second of every day, and those souls and those energy bodies are coming in from all over the place. There is absolutely no net that's containing us on this planet. That's absolute bullshit, and it's really bad that someone's even put that out there, because it's total bullshit. And you can see for yourself if you just go astral project, and there is no net holding anyone. Will we be able to leave this planet once we ascend? We can leave it right now, but once we ascend, not only will we get into the technology so we can technologically leave the planet while we're incarnated, but our ability to leave the planet through our astral body or through consciousness will up level tremendously. So yes, I would say, yeah, it'll be much easier for us to leave the planet in multiple different ways once we ascend. Are aliens controlling us to mine gold for them? The aliens don't need our resources, okay? They don't need our help to mine anything at all. Even the slightest bit of technological advancement, and actually, they're already doing it. We've already done it. They're already doing it in top secret labs around the world. They can formulate any element you want to as much degree as you want. I mean, they can have diamonds by the ton, gold by the ton. It doesn't matter. And the idea that aliens need the minerals on our planet is so stupid. It is so ignorant to what's really going on. I'm sorry, but it really is. Because even the slightest bit of technology, and if they had the advanced technology to get here, which means they understand the magnetic etheric model to some degree, they already have the technology to basically formulate, deformulate, and reformulate any minerals, any elements at all, across the board. So that idea is complete bullshit, and it's just to sell books or whatever it is, or it's a total misinterpretation of ancient data. So whatever, it's all bullshit. Will there be dinosaurs after the ascension and pole shift? That's a good question. Now the funny thing is with magnetic technology, you could have Jurassic Park. I mean, you could revive every dinosaur on the planet. Will that happen? I don't know, because once we're ascended, we may have a different idea of what our relationship to dinosaurs is, and so I don't really know what's going to happen, but it certainly is possible. With Ascension and magnetic technology, you could bring back dinosaurs if we decide as a human race that that's something we want to do, because we will definitely be more connected. Our consciousness will be more global at that point. How much is the Ascension process going to cost? I don't think they're charging the human race for this process. I think they're doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. I think and they're also doing it because we're so connected, and our system is so connected to all the other systems, and it's causing so much contamination to other systems that it's part of it is self-preservation, and part of it is really cleaning up the magnetic network throughout solar systems that we are seriously contaminating. So there's a lot of reasons, but no, I don't think we're being charged anything for the process. Are there forces trying to stop the ascension process? There will be no intergalactic, as far as we know, there will be no interstellar, intergalactic forces that are even going to become close to being able to stop this process. That's already been dealt with, and even the factions that weren't necessarily super buddy buddy are already on the same side of this, partly because the contamination affects every solar system, so everyone's kind of on the same team on this. Now, there may be human forces, governmental ego forces, and different dark forces within humanity that for sure don't want this because they want to maintain control, but they don't really have a lot of say in what's coming. That's this it's going to happen whether they want it to or not, actually. Will there be sports after Ascension? For sure, there will be definitely types of sports, like imagine Quidditch, We're going to go from two-dimensional sports to three-dimensional sports and interdimensional sports. So now the violence of sports might go down some because the idea of being harmful to another being that you feel their pain and feel the connectivity with, I could see that kind of going away. But like sports, different types of sports, new types of sports, anti-gravitic, like sports that incorporate anti-gravity technology or magical technology, like flying brooms and that type of stuff, that could for sure become part of the human experience on this planet. Whole new genre of sports that we don't really think about. Will there be gambling after Ascension? That's a funny question. So the thing is about this Ascension process is we're going to have a lot of foresight. So it might change the whole nature of gambling because we'll have predictive abilities. So it'll be like we'll be able to see the roll of the dice before we roll them, and other things. Like you'll be able to see what this. So gambling, if it's still going to be there for entertainment purposes, it may need to change. We may need to change the nature of it because somehow you've got to make it out. So we can't just automatically see the future on all our gambling because then you would never lose. And plus, we're not really going to have money. So I don't know. There could be some type of gambling, but it'll be very, very different. Will there be traffic after Ascension? Traffic is a huge problem around the world. God, especially in the States. So traffic is going to go from two-dimensional to three-dimensional at some point because with anti-gravity technology, we will not be locked into, just roads. We'll be above road, whatever. So, and then there's all kinds of other things that will evolve out of that. So traffic may be a problem for a little while, but eventually we will probably evolve out of any form of traffic at all. And because we have gateways, there'll be gateways for teleportation gateways. So and then you won't necessarily need to travel in a vehicle to get places anymore either. So I think traffic is going to go away, but it may take a little bit of time. Will there be governments after Ascension? Yeah, I think there will be some form of governments that are truly there to serve people, not to control people, not to manipulate people, not to try to watch people gather their data and control the economy and be corporatocracies and all that. All that will definitely fall away if Ascension really takes place. But there probably will be some sort of organizations and governmental organizations that will truly serve humanity and do the function that we would ideally want a government to be. Will there be corporations after Ascension? I think it will be the same thing. They will not be out there to control or to make more money or to control prices or to control the world and to suppress technology, but there could be organizations that serve humanity and provide technology to everyone around the world to provide a higher standard of living and all that at no cost because there's not really going to be any money. So there may be organizations that kind of function a little bit like corporations, but nothing like the super greedy, corrupted corporate bullshit that we see around the world right now. Will there be rich and poor after Ascension? I don't think so. This is going to be the great equalization of stratification throughout social economics. And so I think you will not, for one thing, as you do away with money, because you don't need money anymore when all the resources are essentially being provided without the need for the exchange of money. But so that will kind of even out the playing field. But it's not just that though. It's So imagine if you don't have any money, are there still going to be people that live in these massive, massive mansions and then people that are living in huts? And no, I don't think so. Everyone will be raised to some sort of standard of living. And the wealthy, because of our interconnectivity and our like the global network that we will all have and the oneness and all that, it's hard for me to imagine that people are going to want to maintain anything that's really that much better than anyone else, if that makes sense. Do we have to work after Ascension? People won't necessarily have to work, but they probably will want to work because you'll have the ability with resources, like basically, I don't want to say unlimited resources, but all the resources that we need to essentially do whatever our heart calling is, whatever we really desire to do. So in that sense, people may work even more than they do now because they might be doing things that they love. Do you have to work for a paycheck and live week to week by making money? No. That will not be part of our society and part of our world after this ascension process takes place and you would have advanced technology. That just simply won't be part of our economic structure. To have the whole idea of economic slavery and surviving paycheck to paycheck will completely go away. Will there be pollution after ascension? Absolutely not. When this new technology is released and we have some sort of ascension, all pollution on this planet will absolutely be cleaned up and removed and everything. Will there be a power grid after ascension? Absolutely not. There's no need for a physical power grid with advanced technology. There's no need for wires everywhere. All of those wires, all of those towers will all be taken down all over the world. That material will all either be recycled or whatever we decide to do with it. But there's no need for a wire network. So everything can be wireless. All the magnetic technology will be wireless for sure. It will be that type of network, but not a physical network, if that makes sense. Will there be militaries after Ascension? Probably not, unless they are something that humanity desires and appoints for certain uses, like that the military would come in maybe to help build, kind of like more like Peace Corps type of thing, but, like to build new villages or to build new town or whatever, so, but certainly not for warfare. If there's still going to be war after Ascension, the Ascension process hasn't worked. It's basically failed. So if it's going to do anything, that would be one of the first things it does is the military, in terms of aggression and war and killing and all that, will absolutely be completely dismantled and stopped. Will there be money after Ascension? Eventually, no, there won't be. There won't be any type of money that's necessary for goods and services because they will all be provided. And I don't want to say an unlimited amount, but there really is going to be an unlimited amount of resources. Now, it's hard to see that from our current consciousness because the first thing at our current level of consciousness we would all do is hoard like crazy. Everyone would have piles of gold and diamonds in their houses. But as we go through an ascension process, we won't have that same frame of mind. We won't have that same type of fear of survival and fear of not having anything anymore. And so we'll only have what we know is necessary at our high standard of living. So we're not going to sit there and hoard because there's no need to. Plus we'll have interdimensional storage, so there's no need to physically hoard anything. So will there be land ownership after Ascension? No, and the thing is, as you start to, as we go through this ascension process and we see the earth as sacred and we see the earth as something that we're stewards of, we won't have that whole mentality, that patriarchal mentality of ownership over the property. And we won't want the idea of dividing lines between properties as much anymore. So we'll do it out of respect and out of love for each other, but it's not about ownership, and it's about fairness, and it's about sharing, and it's about all those kumbaya things. But even like the thousands and thousands or millions of miles of like fences and like barbed wire that has been put up, like even in the States but all over the country, to control wildlife and to control cattle and to control all these things, the natural migration of species, all of that will be taken down. There's no need for any of that anymore. There's no need for the demarcation of property lines and the control of animals and all that and where they go in their natural habitat. So even that in terms of land ownership will be radically different. Will there be religions after Ascension? I assume there will be, but there'll be the ascended version of them. So they're not about trying to put guilt and fear into people and to try to control people. They're not going to need, they don't need the money anymore. So they're going to have all the resources they need. But will there be incredible temples and incredible places of communion and everyone getting together? And really, yes, I think there will be, but it'll be an ascended version of them. Is life going to be boring after ascension? We haven't even scratched the surface of the unlimited mysteries and adventures that await us. So boring is not even in the remote ballpark of where we are heading. We are living in such a limited state of consciousness and of entertainment and of what we're actually going to be moving into. You can't even compare it. There won't ever be a boring moment in the ascended world. Not even one tiny, tiny little boring moment. It's all going to be so much more than what we have right now and so much more mind-blowing. And it's an unlimited number of mysteries and adventures that await us. We haven't even scratched the surface. We're barely in preschool from universal consciousness perspective. We have a long, 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 infinite way to go. Is the entire solar system going to change? Yeah, as far as we know, all the molecular structures in the solar system are going to be impacted. If there is life of any kind on anywhere else in the solar system, which in this model there easily could be, especially in interior of planets, especially with high technology, even if it's microbial life, whatever it is, life on Titan, it doesn't matter. But like, it will all be altered in this process because all the incoming energy of our entire solar system is going to change, according to what we've been told. Are plants and animals going to be affected? Yes, all of them will be. Every single plant, every single animal, every single amoeba, everything, every bug will be impacted by this process. It will be genetically modified and it will be genetically up-leveled, if you want. Will we be able to communicate with animals after ascension? Yeah, I think to some degree. Well, much more than we currently are. We will be able to, some of us will be very adept at it, but yes, it will be a process to where we have what do you want to say, a communication, mental heart connection with animals. We will absolutely have a much deeper level of communication, awareness of them, and exchange back and forth with them in the ascended process. Yeah, for sure. Will we still eat animals after ascension? Probably not. Not like we do now for survival. And if we do, it will be in a very sacred way. Maybe like the ascended version of what Native Americans used to do, but like the ascended version of that. So it might not like we do now. Not even close to what we do now. And I mean, that might be disappointing for a lot of people. I mean, I get it. I'm not a vegetarian by any means. But we will have a different level of consciousness and a different understanding of all of it, and our bodies will require different types of nutrition. So we'll have different cravings. So if you lose the craving, are you losing that much? I don't know. Will the pole shift contribute to ascension? Yeah, supposedly it's going to really contribute to it, and it's going to change quite a bit about how the energy inflow is, how the ionosphere, how we interact with everything, the up level of the energy that's coming through the whole system, including the energy coming through our bodies, our energy bodies, and the whole environment. So it's a very, very fundamental, important part to the ascension process. And so what's the timing of the pole shift? How long will it take? As far as we know, during the 2030s, during that decade, the majority of the pretty significant steps to the pole shift will be completed during the 2030s, but then it will take probably at least another 10 years through the 2040s for certain like residual things to take place and residual things to like settle down or whatever. But it's coming supposedly like pretty soon. So that's why I think the timing of this accelerated ascension has to take place at the end of this decade, because then we're going to be prepared more for the coming changes with the pole shift and everything. Will magnetic technology come out after ascension? I'm assuming it will. Yeah, it better. Will there still be war after ascension? There better not be, otherwise the process has failed. Will we have contact with aliens after ascension? I think we probably will, in a big way. Not only will we have it telepathically, like in our consciousness, in our astral projection, or however you want to say it, our consciousness projection, we'll have tremendous contact with them. We'll have physical contact with them. Because once we get through that process, we will be in a space and in a place of consciousness where we can interact with them without it freaking everyone out and going to war and the government trying to stop it and all that bullshit. Will our bodies change? Yes, very significantly. Our bodies are going to change actually quite tremendously. We're going to go through different genetic changes. It'll be much more advanced than what we are. Our ability to heal will be tremendous. Our ability for cellular regeneration will be tremendous. All of those things. Will we live forever after ascension? I'm assuming, well, I mean, we live forever anyway, but I'm assuming that means from our incarnated bodies. We will have the ability to live in our incarnation bodies, from what we've been told, for a very, very long time. As long as we understand that that's the path that we are kind of creating, that we've created at a higher level. Some of us might stay around for a very long time. Some of us might leave soon because we know we have a better, or not a better, but another path that we will be on. And so, but yeah, some of us, yeah, it depends on what our heart guidance is, to put it simply, or our universal intelligence, our universal guidance is. But yeah, some of us will probably be around for a very, very long time. Will there be disease after ascension? No, absolutely not. Even if the magnetic technology comes out, it will wipe out all disease on the planet. It will wipe out all illness on the planet. There will not be any disease or anything. Will there be physical pain after ascension? Essentially, no, not like we experience it today. Our ability to stop physical pain just with our consciousness in our bodies will be instantaneous. So we won't experience physical pain the same way we do now, where we're almost like victims to it. Like if you cut yourself, oh my God, you're in such pain. Not only that, but the technology, the magnetic technology, will be around to immediately stop pain and to heal whatever's happening from the pain. So it's both things. We have the consciousness and our abilities over our bodies to stop the pain, but then we also will have the technological assistance to help stop pain. Will our genetic code change? Absolutely. Genes are going to be activated that haven't been activated for a very long time. Other genes will go dormant. It's definitely a ramping up of our genetic code and a ramping up of our DNA. So, and that will all become extremely well understood after this process is over. Will our abilities improve? They will improve dramatically. So all of anything that you would consider paranormal will be expanded, and they will improve radically. So just anything, just go down all your paranormal lists, and that could be telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, just go down the whole list. Just whatever it is, psychokinesis, blah 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 blah. So you know what I'm getting at. So will we still eat after ascension? We will, according to what we were told, but it will be different. So we won't need to eat for survival like we do now, because our bodies will be living primarily off of etheric energy. So we are there, and they're designed to do that. So we will do that, but we will eat a lot for like spiritual pleasure, entertainment, ceremonies, getting together, social events. We'll have tremendous creativity with food, tremendously healthy food. So we'll eat at a level that we've never done before, that we've never experienced for a very long time, with dishes and gourmet dishes and everything that we can't even fathom right now. So it's going to be more about the interaction of it, how the sacredness of it and everything, and really just the fun and pleasure of it, but not for survival. Why are they helping us ascend? Well, I think they are helping us ascend partly because we are connected to them. We're family with them. They are us. We are them. But it's also because of our interconnectivity of our solar system and how it's absolutely necessary to stop the pollution and to clean up this planet right now because of the impacts it's having that are just totally unacceptable. Who is helping us ascend? It's such a long list of beings that are around our galactic neighborhood, interdimensional beings, guardians of the realm, angelic beings, you could say. It's just all over. It could be some of us from the future, all kinds of stuff. So there's so many people, so many beings involved. Will there be electricity after ascension or after the pole shift? Not like we have it today. According to what we were told, like all of the powerful electrical grids will be gone. They won't be necessary any longer. There may be like I've talked about, there could be like a different form of electricity that's the right, correct way to have electricity that's in harmony with our natural process, like the cold electricity, that's an attract type of electricity. So there could be some electrical like things around the planet, but nothing even close to like what we experience right now. It certainly won't be the lifeblood of our society anymore. We're not gonna need it because we're gonna have magnetic technology that is far superior to it. Do we need anything to help the process? Do we need to do anything to help the process? Not really, other than in your own process and in your own meditation and letting go of the pain of the past and letting go of unforgiveness and all these things. To the degree that we can do that, it will make the ascension process easier and smoother for all of us. So anything that we can do in terms of like prepping our own energy will make it a more pleasant and powerful experience, and we will ascend through the process faster. So yeah, I think it's important to to do everything that we can to raise our own consciousness, for sure. Uh, what if not enough people try to ascend? Will it still happen? 100% yes. So we were told this process is not dependent upon humanity's ability to ascend. They are not relying on that. There's way too much at stake to rely on humanity's ability to ascend. It is going to happen whether we hit the threshold of enough people, like the 100-month monkey theory or anything like that. It's going to happen whether or not that happens. So let's just say 5% of the people on the planet are really, really actually there already and they're ready for the ascension process. But we really needed to get up to 10% for it to actually happen. That's not going to be the case at all. No matter how many people are ready for it, it's going to take place one way or another because there's way too much at stake, and this is way bigger than humanity. How many people are going to die in the pole shift? As far as we know, it's going to be less than 1% from the act that could be impacted from the actual pole shift, and so I don't even know if that's true. I'm hoping that it's like barely any, but who knows? So why don't they just wipe us out and start over on this planet? I mean, I'm sure that's probably been discussed, just wipe the slate clean and start again. But I think there's just too much at stake, and they value life too highly. These are our galactic families and neighbors and everything. And I think they have an ascended level of consciousness. And so preserving life and helping us evolve and helping us ascend is the number one priority. And so it's not just about wiping everything out. They want us to move forward in a process of love. Will we be able to astral project and et cetera after that? Yeah. So all of those after ascension, of course. It will be a common thing for people to astral project after this ascension process. And not only that, but it's everything else. Levitation. So all kinds of stuff. Will we be able to travel to other dimensions after ascension? Yes. I mean, so that'll be a common practice. People will go to, God, there's so much to explore in the universe from an astral projection consciousness point of view. It's really crazy. And so, yeah, people will be fully engaged in going all over the place. And that's part of the fun of this process. And so people will do it in groups, people will do it in ceremony. That part will be out of control. Please send in any more questions that you have about this process, and I will try to answer them. And thanks for keeping the dialogue going, and we'll see you next time.